Hello, Governor.
Hey, what's going on? I was over there grooving to the beat, dog.
I saw you. I saw it. And you know what? For some, I think that's the first time that we got that and hit that like right
Yep.
on point. Yeah, like
Yeah.
usually, yeah. I've been to let that thing play through a couple times, man.
Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome.
Happy Friday.
You
Happy
made it.
Friday.
Mm.
Yes, you could have been anywhere,
Mm.
but you chose to be here with us. Now, hopefully, you guys have been catching our other lives. We've done a couple lives in the last couple weeks. We've done a AMA, you know what I'm saying? Basically, a Ask Me Anything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we just
Which was
decided to
fun,
keep
by the
it
way.
light. But today we decided to jump back into a little topic, which for a first, for whatever
Yeah.
reason, our reaction video has not
Mhm.
dropped yet. So that will drop on Tuesday.
That's on me. I didn't properly inform you about how we was going to do the posting schedule.
Yeah,
So.
see, and here I was thinking I was behind. I was like, oh, come on, let's get it. So that's okay. I'm good with being ahead of the curve for once.
Mhm.
For once. Anyway, let's not belabor this thing. So we're gonna talk about Doctor Who. So the Power of Three was season 7, episode 4.
Yes.
Now, the one cool thing about the Power of Three, it made me think about like where we were just recently watching Sherlock,
Yep.
and even though it hasn't shown yet, um, anyone who is a member of Syntell's Patreon can join us in the Discord and watch it with us live as we do reactions.
Mhm.
So we have actually finished the entire Sherlock series. It just hasn't come out yet. It's out on Syntell's Patreon.
I was about to
So
say,
if
get on Patreon.
if you're a Patreon member, you can watch it now. You can watch the entire thing, and then the edited version will be out on YouTube very soon. But in the end, close to the end, especially season 4 and the end of season 3, we had the Power of Three. We had Sherlock, we had John Watson, and we had Mary Watson.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't work out too well.
Hmm.
The Power of Three has always been around. So I started thinking about when I was thinking about doing this, I thought about The Craft. Remember that movie, The Craft?
Oh yeah, with the witches, right?
Yeah, by the power
Yeah.
of 3 times 3, make them
Mhm.
see, make them see. And I remember that got thrown off because The Craft, because remember the fourth girl was introduced.
I can't
and it threw
lie.
off.
I have not seen The Craft.
Well, you didn't really miss anything.
Okay. All right. But I know what you're talking about.
No.
Like I've seen like
No.
bits and pieces of it, but never like really watched.
Rachel True and her looking good, yeah. Fairuza Balk looking crazy as ever. I mean, just even when I saw her in The Water Boy, I was like, I just can't. My mind can't thinks about nothing but The Craft. She's crazy. She plays crazy so well.
Yeah.
The Power of Three was in. Remember the TV show, the old one and the reboot of Charmed.
Yes. Oh no, I remember that one. Yeah. I used to love me some Charms. Yeah.
The Rule of Three is a Wiccan idea, and it's based on the idea of reciprocal ethics. The Rule of Three, we have it in government. We have the 3 branches of government. It's in many religions. Like, there's no 3 more important than the Holy Trinity in the Christian religion. So I even heard someone the other day, someone said, someone has sneezed. And someone said, "Oh, this coming 3s."
Yeah.
Or a tragedy when someone dies, like when celebrities die, somebody says, "Oh, they always come in 3s."
Yeah.
So that idea of 3 has been with us for a long time, but it begs the question, like, where did that come from? Who do you let influence you? So, my guy, let's talk about this episode of Doctor Who.
Okay.
So, Doctor Who, Amy and Rory are adjusting to normal life. They're just being normal people, and they're making life without the doctor. But one day, billions of these little tiny black cubes, small like Rubik's cubes, little black cubes, show up all over the world, show up
Mm.
all over the globe. But they don't do anything. They're just little black cubes that just showed up out thin air. The doctor arrives. He gets taken immediately. As soon as he gets there, him, Rory, Amy, they all get taken to unit headquarters. And we see, I think it's the first time we saw the leader of unit, Kate Stewart, who is the
Yep.
daughter of the previous General Lethbridge Stewart, or Stewart Lethbridge, something like that. Her father, but that's from Classic Who, and he was, when the doctor worked with Unit a lot. Anyway, they're trying to figure out what the cubes are. The doctor is like, I can't do all this waiting on these cubes to do something. Like, this is driving me insane. So he leaves. Amy and Rory go back to doing their regular lives, but Rory's father, Brian, the doctor tells him, watch the cubes. And listen, he understood the assignment.
Yeah. He's like,
he got out a notebook. He got him on the baby cam or whatever. Like, he is watching them cubes. And it goes by about a year. It's almost a year goes by where we start to get some action.
Mm-hmm.
And the crazy thing is that the people all over the world are using the cubes for all sorts of crazy stuff. They cooking with them, making TV shows. They using paperweights. They doing everything. Them things are everywhere.
Mm.
They start to activate, and the doctor calls it a slow invasion.
Mm.
Because now, at this point, now they're everywhere in the world. Everywhere where humans are, the cubes are,
right.
And we've forgotten about them. So we have invited that vessel into our lives. The cubes start counting down. They have numbers on them. They start counting down. When they hit 0, they open. But many people who are around several different hub centers around the world start having cardiac arrests. The cubes are generating some sort of electrical signal.
Mm-hmm.
We see Brian at the hospital. He gets taken hostage by 2 orderlies.
Mm-hmm.
When Rory goes to look for him, they're trying to, Rory finds that there's a portal. There's always a portal to a spaceship. Always. On a, it's like in a broom closet or on the elevator. Something about them elevators too. Always. And when they get on this ship where Brian was taken hostage, it turns out that the ship is being controlled by a race of aliens called the Shakri.
Mm-hmm.
The doctor is very familiar with the Shakri, and as a matter of fact, he even said that they are Gallifreyan legends. They were the self-appointed pest controllers in the universe. They're basically an early version, or maybe a late version. They might have read the Marvel comics of Thanos. It is their job to control the pest, and anyone can tell you what we can tell you right now with climate control and global warming and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And then the rate that humans are multiplying on this world, mm-hmm. we are almost like a virus on this world, because we are going out of our way to destroy the world that sustains us, and growing at an exponential rate where it's unsustainable. Hence the whole Thanos thing, why, it kind of made sense. And anyways, the doctor, Amy, Rory, figured out a way to defeat the Shakri dude who had put all this together. And they go back to Earth, and they're sitting there having, breakfast, having a little, muffins or whatever it is. And the doctor, he's leaving again. And Amy and Rory said, they got kind of used to having, a normal life. But Brian can see that they're lying. And he's like, listen, you can have a normal life. How often do you get to do this? If y'all weren't available, we needed y'all to save the world. And you were available to save the world. And that's big. So they decide, yeah, you're right. So they go off with the doctor, and they decided that's what they're going to do. They're going to travel with the doctor, and they'll get back to doing whatever regular life stuff when they get back. I mean, because they are on a time machine. So they leave, and Brian pulls the doctor aside. He said, I just need you to bring them back safe. And then we have a fade to black.
Yeah. About that safe part. There are no guarantees.
Well, and that is the crazy thing about anything. And I hate when they do stuff like that in TV shows and in movies, because it's a well-known thing for anybody who watches a lot of media. It's called foreshadowing. It's like, why would he say that? Even though, as a father, of course, hey, listen, little strange alien man with a ship that goes all over the galaxy, bring my babies back safe. Which, to be completely honest, the doctor's family to them now. He's their son-in-law, so it's
yeah.
I mean, they mean a lot to Brian, but they also mean a lot to the doctor. So
yeah.
Now you know me. I love my quotes. So I only have a couple.
Okay.
Well, 3, because of course I gotta do 3. It's the power of 3.
Yeah. See what you did there.
Yeah. Okay, so the first one is hold on, I had it right here. So first one, Wilma Rudolph. Never underestimate the power of dreams and the influence of the human spirit. We are all the same in this notion. The potential for greatness lives within each one of us. It's like, okay, it's pretty straightforward, Wilma Rudolph, thank you.
Straight up Clarksvillian, just to give y'all a heads up, Clarksville, Tennessee. Hometown hero. Okay, sorry. I had to throw it out.
Had to shout it out. I'm surprised you almost didn't get up, start seawalking.
Yeah, like, hey.
Clarksville fool.
Wilma, baby.
Now, these other 2, I think, are a little bit more poignant to our discussion today. And that's one by Napoleon Hill. And he says, think twice before you speak, because your words and influence will plant the seed of either success or failure in the mind of another. Okay. And that's extremely good. And me spending so many years in the classroom teaching, that was something that I absolutely took stock in. And the last one is from Dan Buettner. Okay. And he said, the people you surround yourself with influence your behaviors. So choose friends with healthy habits.
That's a good one. I definitely like that one.
That's one I've always rocked with. And I, even from when you're younger, I remember my mother used to say all the time, she would say, not accuse me of stuff, but when parents are accusatory kind of, and like, are you doing this? Are you doing that? Don't get caught up. Don't, you go to jail. I ain't coming to bail you out. I was like, Mom, I don't even do none of that stuff. And then she would always say, well, birds of a feather flock together. Just if you running with people, you running with gangsters, you a gangster. You running with robbers, jackers, then you a jacker. And it seemed silly at the time, but she's right. If the type of people, if you want to know if you're going to be successful or not, take the average of the 5 people in your circle, the 5 people you're around the most, and that will tell you who you are.
There is a lot of truth to that. And they say, old folks used to say, be careful of the company you keep.
Absolutely.
Because, I mean, that influence is real. And you can test it. You can test it yourself. Give yourself, do what's it like, not 90-day challenges or whatever it is that they have. They're pretty popular. If you go to like, I don't know if your thing is, let's say, politics, and let's say you start going to community council meetings and you start keeping more company with things in that nature, you become a little bit more aware of those things. You become you're more susceptible to hearing things that may influence your decisions. If you do that with people that are like really high goal oriented, or people that are like big in fitness, or people that are big in watching movies, or whatever it is, it rubs off on you. And then eventually, if you stay with those people long enough, the things that they do become your habits as well. So if you have a thing that you struggle with or want to obtain or want to stop doing, an easy cheat code is to change the company that you keep. Like if you want to feel better about some kind of way, certain things, certain viewpoints, hang around those people. It becomes like through osmosis in a sense, or whatever it is.
My mom used to say all the time, and it didn't make any sense when I was in high school. She said, if you can't change who you with, change who you with. And I was like, you do know you just said the same thing twice, right?
But did she?
But did she? And she's absolutely right. And since we're talking about influence, the people who influence your life the most are typically those that you spend the most time around. And those can be family members, close friends, mentors, trusted colleagues, and even sometimes, public figures or role models that you admire, or some of their values and actions you want to emulate. Now, the strange thing is, in this day and age with social media, you can surround yourself with people that you've never actually even met. And the influence on what you take in, my pastor used to say this all the time, that the music that you listen to, what you watched on TV, had just as much, if not more, influence on you than the people that you were around.
Yeah.
And that's extremely interesting, because sometimes we don't draw the correlation. You think, no, if I'm around these type of people, then that's the type of person I am, but I can watch or listen to whatever I want to. And there is some truth to that, because I probably watch more TV and listen to more music than actual people that I'm around. Like, I'm around my kids, but other people, I ain't around anybody. Like, I'm not around. I stays in the house. Like, I just do. Like, the pandemic changed everything for me. I don't come out no more. I don't. Every now and then you gotta get out and touch grass, but I be in the house.
Influence of your environment is a very big thing. I used to never understand, like, why my mom used to always listen to jazz when we was in the car driving and stuff. Like, that was like her main thing. Anytime we get in the car, jazz would be on or whatever. And it wasn't until I started driving myself and got a little bit older and I got it, it's because, my mom might have had she may have had a tendency to get a little road ragey. But the music was what kind of like, kept getting even killed. She's like, I'm not listening to this for me. I'm listening to this for y'all. I end up.
Your mom was on it. She knew. She knew.
And I find myself kind of doing that as well too. If I'm on the road and I'm feeling some kind of way, maybe listen to some jazz, kind of soften things up. I used to listen to like a lot of Big Sean early in the morning, because to me it's like hustle music, Jay-Z hustle music, because it get me kind of started, kind of get the day going. I'm ready to like take everything going. It would kind of like set the tone. Music is very, very influential. If you're lucky enough and you got somebody to squeeze on, you put on some little romantic music to help set the tone. Don't think it doesn't have an influence. It might, hope you squeeze out a couple of more minutes of one-on-one time.
Listen, I'm glad that you cleaned it up, because you were talking about having somebody on the road where you said squeeze something out. I was not thinking minutes. I was like, squeeze out, all right.
But there one more small thing. I know music is a big one, but I know a big piece of influence that changed me. I couldn't figure out how to get in certain circles to have a better influence over me. I was like, well, I want to be like this person here, but I don't have access to this person. And my mom told me, she was like, if you want to be around those people and you can't physically be next to them, she was like, well, find their autobiography, find a list of things that they read that you can read. You know, you can get mentors through books, you know, because they have an influence. Like, you may not be able to physically be a part of their influence, but you can mentally have their influence on you. That's why reading is such a really important thing when it comes to kind of like changing your mindset. If you want to learn to be a better artist, find artists that you like and, you know, study up and read up on them. Like, you can change your sphere of influence without having to necessarily physically.
It absolutely, reading is fun.
It is fundamental.
You know, it's funny, in the late 90s, 2000s, you said you used to listen to Big Sean to get up, get yourself motivated. I listened to one song every morning when I got up. It was crazy. I did not even think about that until you just now said that. I used to listen to the early Outcasts featuring CeeLo. You got to get up, get out, and get something. Don't let the days of your life pass by. Listen, and that's that whole first verse by CeeLo. I can go on that right now. That and another one that spoke to me, 80s Jam, Eric B and Rakim's Paid in Full. I guess. Listen, I can be passed out unconscious, and you turn on music, and I'll start spitting. Like, listen, that one's just one. Now, as we wind this down, before we bring in the, and I know I cut you off, and I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's all good. It's all good.
I just wanted to bring in 3 just key points to remember before we bring in our esteemed guest to talk about the power of influence and who has influence over you. 3 things you need to think about. One is positive influence, just like you've been hearing us talk about. The things that you allow to influence you, number 1, it should be positive. You know, it's hard for you to complain about these negatives and things going wrong in your life. And I'm not saying you have to wake up every day and say your daily affirmations, which is not a bad idea. But you should, it's important that you surround yourself with people who inspire you to grow. They challenge you in a healthy way, and they support your goals. Yeah. We all have those people that know, you know, like right now I have people in my life who I could be like, you know, I'm, you know, doing my YouTube thing. Oh, how's your little podcast going? You know, it doesn't take anything for you to click like, share, leave a comment, even subscribe. I got people who in my family who swear that they love me, not subscribe. Haven't listened to one of these, you know. How's your little thing coming? You know, and unfortunately you got those people around you until, you know, I start wave a check at them. How'd you get that? What you did? Oh, it's that little podcast thing. For real though? Let me hold something. Boy. Anyway,
hold it.
Flag on the play. Another one is critical thinking. While being influenced is natural, and we're all influenced from loved ones, parents, your pastors, your teachers, mentors, people on your job. We're influenced. Media, we're influenced. It's natural, but it's crucial. And maybe this is what's lacking today. It's crucial to maintain your own critical thinking skills and not blindly follow others. Just because they say it doesn't make it true. That part. Doesn't matter where you heard it from. It does not make it true. Anything I'm saying to you right now, I don't even challenge you. I invite you. Go look up. Go do your own research, which is more than a Google search. Anything I say, I am here to learn just as you. I am not a psychiatrist. I'm not a guru. I'm not starting my own cult. None of that. I don't know anything about anything. These are just few words from me and Syntell on the way that we see things. And the last one here is conscious selection. Be mindful of who you allow to influence you. It's your life. So you should actively seek out positive role models. I have a list of people that I follow on Instagram who say things, they drop nuggets, they drop information, they drop wisdom every day. And that helps me. And I see it and I'm like, oh, Syntell will probably like this. Let me send this to Syntell.
I'll be
Let me
like,
send it
thank
to
you,
Randy.
brother.
Let me
Yeah.
send it to Chuck.
Yeah.
Let me send it to my brother. Like it
Yeah.
stuff. Like my kids, my sons are head over heels about football. So on Instagram, I'll see guys who are putting out training videos and all this stuff, and I'll do it and I'll send it to them. This might benefit you. You wondering how to increase your 40 time, increase your speed, do these exercises. But even with my kids, I'm saying this, and my kids will still be like, I'll be like, oh, did you watch that video on how to increase your speed? Nah, Dad, you be sending too much stuff. I didn't even open it. So just be conscious, again, positive influence, be conscious of who you allow to influence you, and retain your critical thinking skills. Think for yourself. I'm sorry, Syntell?
No. Oh, no, I was just over here just posting with some of the people. We got Geekly Goods in the chat who was asking like some
what's
of
up,
those
Leo?
as well.
That's
Leo
my
was in
guy.
the house. I do just for a bit of a time check. I know we got some other people that are in the house that I think could probably add a little bit of value to the conversation. Rakai, did you want to bring them in?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a Frank. Frank, and we have Sherelle. And if you guys don't know, Frank and Sherelle are members of the Discord. So, again, another plug, become a member of Syntell's Patreon. You can also become a member of mine. I don't mind. I invite it. But to get the real, to get that good, be a member of Syntell's Patreon, and then be a member of the Discord, and you get a bunch of stuff like to watch stuff with us daily. Like the community is really thriving; it's popping, and these are two wonderful members of the community. Hi, Frank and Sherelle.
Hey.
Yeah, y'all know y'all are them.
Hi, Sherelle.
Hi.
They're so modest. Hi, how you doing? And we have a late edition, but a welcome edition. Our local alien. Hi, Sophie.
Hey, Sophie.
Well, if you better promoted your stuff, people wouldn't be late.
Listen, you know what? You're absolutely right, and yeah. Unfortunately, that is the name of the game for me these days. It's not procrastination, but just tardiness. So, apologies. So, what do you guys think about who you allow to influence you? Like, what are the big influences on your lives at this point?
I guess my biggest influence has always been my mother.
So, any particular reason why your mom?
It's just like witnessing the way she was my whole life. I've only ever seen unconditional love, acceptance, and kindness from her.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say that she's without her flaws, but she exhibits traits that I aspire to have myself.
Okay, that's wonderful. What about you, Sophie or Sherelle?
I am the wrong person to ask because I am not easily influenced.
But actually, that makes you the perfect person to ask, because just like everything I said at the very end about, making sure that your influences are positive, that you retain your critical thinking skills. And I tell you, if there's anybody I know that retains their critical thinking skills when it comes to stuff like that, it would be Sophie. And just being conscious of who you allow to influence you, I think you're the perfect person to ask. So even though you're not easily influenced, who does influence you?
I'm not influenced by people, but rather individual actions or stances. People can change. People can be two-faced. They can present one way and do something else. They can have priorities that don't align with yours.
Listen, I do want to say thank you to everyone today for being on here to talk about influence. And as we walk away from this, I want everyone still to think about, the type of things that you allow to influence you. Uh, I will say this. I asked the question earlier. Syntell, you are an influencer, sir. You may not think of yourself that way, but you do influence not only your well earned 66,000 plus subscribers, um, but you influence a lot of us, and I'm speaking for myself. I'm not speaking for anyone else in a lot of ways. I have enjoyed and had a lot of fun doing reactions with you, whether it's on the Geekish Network. So please check out the Geekish Network, binge worthy every Wednesday night at 11 p.m. Eastern, or the stuff that we do on your channel on Syntell, or do on this channel on Nuke from the Ville. I am glad that I get to partner with a person who thinks of others. And what y'all see on the screen is one thing, but what goes on behind the scenes is another thing. And you know what I'm saying? That's my man, 100 grand. And he lives halfway across the country. We have never been in the same room with each other. That is the beauty of the internet. I have not laid these two beautiful brown eyes on this man ever in my life. And,
Right.
and we have mutual partners, and that's how it kind of came together through the good old the Geekish Network. But it works, him, MC. I've got to meet wonderful people like Sophie. And just, and that's the crazy thing about it too. Sophie and I live in the same city.
Well, until you became a traitor and moved.
I mean, I'm not necessarily a traitor, but I spend most of my time where my kids go to school. So, but but being able to meet people from all over the world, Frank and Sherelle and Love and Ariel and all these people, these wonderful people that we have in the Discord. Dingus, I see in the comments. Red Sin and HT Teddy. All these people who are from all these different places in the world. That is influence. That you have enough influence, my guy, to bring together all these wonderful people to talk about the things that we love. A lot of it's Doctor Who, but we talk about Sherlock. We talk about Arcane. We talk about
Game of Thrones, apparently.
Game of Thrones, apparently. Look, my man Pankaj, go back and check out all the reactions for House of Dragons while you at it. Like, listen, get on in there. Get on in there. Yeah, Bookish. Bookish was in the comments. Bookish is from South Africa. Yeah. Listen, that's what I'm talking about. She's like 9 hours ahead. You know what I'm saying? She's on a whole different, it's almost tomorrow right now. She's watching with us. So that is much appreciated.
Yes, it is.
I am the same. I don't think of myself as an influencer, but I do understand that I do have a smidge, a tiny bit of influence, and that for some strange reason, people listen to the shit I say. I haven't figured out why yet, but I'm glad that you guys are listening. I'm glad that you guys are here. I do want to say, again, my shameless plug. Subscribe to Syntell's Patreon. You get so much bonus. He's got like 1,000, well over 1,000 videos in there for, he's got so much stuff in there. He's got the time to have stuff that just Patreon exclusives. We be watching stuff and it don't even show up on his YouTube. It's just in Patreon. So you gotta be in it to get it. And if you're in there, you get to be a member of the Discord and watch stuff with us personally when we live react to stuff. And then not only that, the community is so thriving. You get to meet wonderful people like these people that we have with us here today, like Sophie, Sherelle, Frank, and many of the other people are in the chat right now. They're in the Discord, and the community is thriving, and it operates on a whole different level. There's a lot of times I know I don't be in the Discord. I jump in the Discord, and there's all types of stuff already going on. Syntell would jump in the Discord, and there's other people. Frank is doing these wonderful audio things with the audio files, the audio books from Doctor Who. I mean, there's a lot going on, and it's a place that we want to invite you to come on through. If you have time, you have a couple extra coins, you can, by all means, jump on my Patreon, or make sure that you at least have subscribed to my YouTube. You know, please like, share this, comment as much as possible. As I always say, you got to use this, but more importantly than that, you got to use this. To all of you on here, thank you, chefs. You guys, I couldn't do this without you, and I appreciate you so much. All right, we're gonna see y'all. Thank you, and see you next week.
Peace.